So I wanted to give you guys some examples of order of operations with integers. So when you look at this order of operations problems, you should probably start to notice that there are integers like -2 and -12 and -16 and -3. But what you should also notice is from now on, I want you guys to think of the minus signs as negatives. So for example, that minus sign in front of the 16, I want you to think of as a -16. And I'll show you how that's going to work out. If you're doing this problem, -3 minus 16 divided by 4 times -2 minus 12, the first thing you're going to do is the 16 divided by 4, or that's what you used to do. Now I want you to think of it as -16 divided by 4. So I want you to think about the sign that's in front of the number being attached to that number. So -16 divided by 4 is going to give you -4. And again, I'm going to continue to rewrite everything else as it is. What I want you to also realize is that -4 that you wrote, that negative sign, acts like a minus sign. I'm going to keep going. Multiplication, that's going to be -4 times -2. It's going to be +8. So I'm going to write +8. Yes, it's going to act like a plus sign, but it's also a positive sign. Now I'm going to add and subtract from left to right. So -3 plus 8 is 5, +5. I don't have to write the plus sign in front of the 5 because it's a positive number and it starts the expression. And then 5 minus 12 will give me -7. So please, when you're doing these, notice the difference now when you're talking about the signs. The signs are going to be so important, and you're really going to have to pay attention to what the sign is in front of each number. So again, we're going to think of this as 15 minus -18 divided by -6 times 3 plus 12. So I'm going to start off with the division part of it. Good news here is -18 divided by -6 is going to be +3. I'm going to write down everything else. So this minus sign is going to carry down now. And now I'm going to do multiplication. Notice that this minus sign is now going to be attached to the 3, so it's going to be a -3. So when I do -3 times +3, it's going to be -9. And once I write the -9 and I put the 15 in front, now it's 15 minus 9. I do the subtraction, which is 6. I do the addition, and my final answer is 18. So when you're doing these problems, there are many ways to do them. So you could have thought right away, when you went back up to the original problem, to keep change opposite, and you could have kept change opposite. What would have happened when you kept change opposite is now you're dividing a +18 by a -6, and when you divide +18 by -6, you still get the -3 that you got. So you may be doing these differently than I am, but as long as you're keeping the signs attached to the numbers, you should be okay. So we're going to do the parentheses first. 16 minus 20 is -4. I'm going to rewrite everything else as is. Now I'm going to do the x, that should be a 4, -4. I'm going to do the exponents. Oop, I forgot that minus sign. Do the exponents next. So -4 squared is +16, because -4 times -4 is +16, and I'm going to rewrite everything else as is. And I'm just double checking to make sure that's a -4 because I was sloppy up top. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the, since I've already done the parentheses and the exponent, now I'm going to do multiplication and division from left to right, which is going to lead me here. So I'm going to notice that this minus sign is attached to that 32. So it's -32 divided by -4, which is going to be +8. And I'm going to write that plus sign because that plus sign is the sign of the number of my answer. When I write +8, once I put the -16 in front of it, now it acts like a plus sign. -4 minus 16, keep change opposite, -20 plus 8. Okay, -20 plus 8 would give me -12. So a lot of these skills are integer related. The reason I'm not doing a formal lesson on this is because you know integers and you know order of operations, but I just want to give you some practice examples of what happens when you marry them together.